Good morning and welcome again. Down at Hythe on the seafront, low tide again. I went yesterday and the sea was quite rough. As you can see today, it's calmed down considerably. So hopefully there might be a few fish about today. I'm going to try anyway, give it a couple of hours. What I've done today with the rig, the pedal rig that we made before, because there's less tide today, I've made it a longer hook length. Still got the two number 20 Sakuma hooks, a little bit of shrink sleeve just to hold it in place, but still makes it movable. It'll still come up and down the line. Bait today is sticky black lug. We're going to start with 2 on the hook, see how we get on. I've also got a bag of bits of mackerel from the summer when I was catching them, but what I'll do when I take the fillets off, rather than waste any, the little tail sections make perfect little baits. That's just the last bit before the tail of the mackerel. Makes an excellent size bait, so we've got them to try for later. But we'll slip the black lug on. Just put the glasses on so I can see what I'm doing. Might not know what I'm doing, but I can see what I'm doing. Right, we take off the tail section of the worm because we don't want that. That's just sand in there. And then we slip the worm round the hook. I'm sure you've all seen and done this before. Very easy with black lug, not so easy with blow lug, because of course they've still got the insides in them, so they tend to blow. But with the black lug, pretty easy. Get another one. Again, we just nip the tail off. Push the one that's already on out the way, up the hook, onto the line. Second one on round the shank. As you can see, that's a good sized bait. Then what we do is we just put the pedal top hook in like that, pull it tight. That's a good bait. And as I say, with these clips you can actually cast off the beach. I'll show you in a second, which is really handy if you're not a lead swinger, because all the others, the imps and what have you, they tend to not allow you to do that because they come out. So I'll put this about there because I'm just going to go down to there to cast. I'll get this one out and see what happens. Nice and neat rig, very streamlined, which is always handy. Just put the glove on for casting because it does smart if you get it, have a go on your finger with a little glove. It's absolutely no trouble. Just my little casting glove. Right. Let's see what's about. I expect it to be a little wide, but you never know. You've got to be here to find out. With the braids, you just let the line out till you get to the top and then tighten up. Won't be a lot of tide there today. I've still got the 175 gram leg on, which is dreadful. but you can see how you can cast off the floor, no trouble at all. Get the glove off, tighten up. And again with the braid yesterday, as you saw, you see the bites very well. It's just me tightening the line here. The tighter I can get the line to be, the better the bite protection. We can do no more but wait to see what happens. I was going back to the initial place I went yesterday, behind the boat at the ranges, but I went there this morning and there was 3 guys already fishing, and to be honest there isn't a great deal of room there. So I thought I'd come down to the Princess Parade. They nearly finished doing the work with the lorries. As you can see, they've been moving a lot of shingle about. They're down there now doing it, but they shouldn't really affect us. I'll see if I can just zoom it in for you. You can probably see the lorry. Nice tight line now, or tighten up, let's put it that way. The whiting bites are a strange bite here, especially on braid. It's a sort of a shivery bite. You see it and it'll go like that, and then you'll get a couple of knocks down, but as soon as you see that sort of shivery effect, that's a whiting. If you get more like plucks, that's probably a flatfish. And if you get a proper bang down, that could be a bass or a big whiting. The longer hook length on the pedal today will let the bait move about a bit more freely, which is good. I had to use the shorter ones yesterday because of the sea was a big sea, and it would have just wrapped itself around and caught up in weed. I've got a little bite there now, you can probably see, just a little touch, could be crabs or little fish. I brought my beach buddy today to try and alleviate a bit of the wind noise for you. So the camera's just to my side, but it's covered by the beach buddy. I've got stacks of clothes on, I'm cooking. I didn't think today was going to be quite this nice. Hopefully going to have a go freshwater fishing tomorrow. Not quite sure where yet, probably be either Stanford or our club lake. We'll have to see. Don't know if you can see the large boat out in the channel. That's a Navy vessel, and it's there to pick up the illegal immigrants that have been coming through. That and the RNLI boat have been very busy. I expect today there'll be a few hundred come over. There hasn't been of late because of course the weather's been so poor, but any breaks in the weather and they're straight back. Can't blame them, I blame the government. I should have sorted it out years ago. It's been on the cards to be coming like this, but as I say now, it's going to be awfully hard to stop. much action at the moment. At least the small whiting aren't straight on it. They were yesterday. They only had to be out there half a minute and they were on it, so not giving any other fish a chance to find it. At least today there seems to be a little bit less activity from them. Lots of people out today walking along the promenade. It's a mile long, the Princess Parade, so it's a nice walk. People park their car one end, walk right up to the other end, have a cup of coffee and come back. Quite a nice little constitution, really. Back in the 1970s and 80s when I used to fish here and the cod were here, you literally couldn't get between the anglers. A whole mile there would be a tilly lamp every 10-15 paces. Unbelievable. And there were some huge fish caught, some proper cod. I had one 25 pound, I had a couple of 20 pounders, all from this Princess Parade. Startling it was. I mean, Dungeness was supposed to be the Mecca, which is round the corner. You could probably, I'll turn you round, you can see the power station in the distance, just across the way. And that was always described as the Mecca of cod fishing, but to be honest, it was so good here, we never used to bother going the extra 15 miles. You didn't need to. There was enough here to keep you more than happy. I tend to leave it out about a quarter of an hour if I haven't had a bite. Oh, there's a bite. That looks a little bit like a flatfish, I'm not sure, but it could be. Leaving to see what goes on. There were quite a few small undersized plaice, up to about 20 centimetres, 22 centimetres, caught at the weekend in a little club comp, but the weather, the sea then was much clearer. The plaice generally don't like the coloured water. Dabs and flounders don't mind, but generally the plaice are not keen, but you can never tell. I mean, that's why we come fishing, because you just don't know. If you think you know it all about sea fishing, it's time to give up, because you'll never know it all. I've been very fortunate to have good friends who have fished for England and the best of the best, and even they don't know it all and will freely admit to it. So if you hear someone say, oh yeah, I know everything there is to know about sea fishing, see if their nose grows, because that could be a little bit of a Pinocchio effect. It's certainly a glorious day. They give a good day again tomorrow, and then here we go again, Sunday onwards, wet, 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 and windy. So these little windows of opportunity you have to take advantage of. I've been on holiday this week and up to Thursday next week, but it looks like today and tomorrow are my only fishing days, because it's going to go quite nasty, I think, Monday. I brought the little sections of mackerel with me, because yesterday, as you saw, we had that decent channel whiting, about 30 centimetres, a bit more, 32 fat, and they definitely like a bit of fish bait, but I won't put it on today unless I see some whiting, because with the worm it's more flexible and I can catch dabs, flounders, codlin, you know, it gives you a little bit more option, the worm. But of course, then again, we might not catch anything. But when it's a lovely day like this, it doesn't really matter. Tiny little bite there, just taking the slack in the braid, so it certainly looks like a little flatfish, but I'm not sure. We'll give it a bit longer, because we haven't had anything really positive in the way of a bite yet. Low tide, dead low tide today, just after 1 o'clock. Time now is only little tides, 5 metre 5s. Time now is 12:30, so we're almost at low water. I didn't go right down to the water's edge to fish, because up on this sort of shingle bank you can keep your line away from the breakers, or the little, well, only little breakers today, but it just gives you a little bit more bite protection. I just tighten the line up on this, because it has gone a little bit slack. Put a little bend in the rod, see if we see it slacken again. The thing with braid, unlike nylon, you see everything, so if it's quite a rough day, you get used to it. It's a bit like nylon, you get used to the pattern of the rod, what it does if it's being hit by waves or whatever, but the actual bite detection with braid is superb. It magnifies the bite times 10, without a doubt. I would never use it in rocky situations, because you've got no give in it. I'd go, if I ever fish the rocks down at Sandgate or Folkestone, I'd go with probably 25-pound main line straight through, because I'm not casting far. You only want to go out about 50-60 metres, so you don't need to worry too much about shock leaders, and the less knots to get caught, the better. And I usually use a rotten bottom. I'll show you one of those in a future video where we make a 12-pound line rotten bottom, and you attach it up onto a clip so that you cast on the 25 or whatever pound line, and as soon as it hits the water it releases, and you've got a yard, or a metre sorry, of 12-pound line. If your weight gets caught badly in a rock, it will snap, and you'll get everything else, including the fish if you've got one on, back. So it's a very good idea. I use it a lot at Samphire Hoe, where it is very rocky. But you'd be surprised, sometimes you fish all day with a rotten bottom and you never lose a leg. It's quite ironic, really. Well, it's all quiet at the moment, so I'll switch off and I'll come back when we've got something to show you. See you soon.